It was Sunday night. You lay there, tired from a weekend meant for rest, but filled with tasks. Then the thought came, uninvited. Tomorrow it all starts again. Not with excitement, but with the weight of knowing what's ahead and feeling exhausted before even starting. If this resonates, you're in the right place. This isn't about productivity or doing more in less time. I'm not offering apps or methods to fix what took years to build. Instead, let's explore whether you're busy or running away and what you're avoiding when you stop. Our culture glorifies busyness as a virtue. Being busy equates to being important, exhaustion to commitment, and saying, "I don't have time" signals you're serious and necessary. Yet, there's a vast difference between being busy and being productive, between working a lot and working well, between a full schedule and a life with meaning. This is about that difference and what happens when you stop doing one and start building the other. Too busy to think is too busy to grow. Before addressing exhaustion, we must discuss its fuel. Often, chronic exhaustion isn't about workload, but the inability or fear to say no. Reflect on last week. How many times did you say yes to things you didn't want or couldn't handle? How often did you accept because it was easier than explaining, or because saying no seemed ungrateful or disappointing? Compulsive yes stems from a deep need for approval, rooted in our social biology. Rejection triggers the brain's pain centers. So, we say yes, even when it costs us sleep, health, or time with loved ones. Every yes out of fear of disappointment is a no to yourself. Over time, these yes fill a schedule with no room for anything new or good. A schedule full but not fulfilling, busy but not meaningful. A schedule chosen with intention energizes, while one filled by default exhausts, even when it seems productive. The schedule you didn't choose will charge a price you didn't expect, often when you least can pay. But there's something deeper than the inability to say no. For many, constant busyness is a sophisticated escape from silence, from thoughts and questions about life, from feelings pushed aside by a packed calendar. Being busy temporarily solves the problem of confronting whether you're truly happy, in the right place, or building what you want. I don't have time for this now. We'll talk later. I'll deal with it later. Later. How many important conversations, doctor's visits, or present moments with family have been postponed for later? Researcher Christina Maslach describes chronic exhaustion as a prolonged mismatch between work demands and what one can offer without adequate recovery. Burnout builds slowly, with each yes that should have been a no, each break replaced by another task, each ignored warning from the body. The body warns long before collapse, with insomnia, irritability, loss of pleasure, unexplained pains, and feeling present yet absent. Ignoring these signals doesn't make them disappear, it makes them accumulate until the bill comes due. The problem isn't the schedule, it's deeper. For many, hyperactivity expresses a belief formed early on. I need to produce to deserve. Deserve what? Respect, attention, love, space, the right to exist without justification. This belief turns productivity into identity. You are what you do. When you stop doing, you disappear. What happens when you can't produce? When you're sick or fail? This equation, I am worth what I produce, is destructive. Our culture rewards doing, not being, leaving people unable to rest without guilt, anxious on vacations, checking emails on Sundays. If you only feel good when productive, you don't have rest. You have postponed collapse. There's also the fear of failure disguised as dedication. Constant busyness can prevent facing the real test, ensuring the project that matters never fails because it's never attempted. Busy can be the most respectable excuse for not risking what truly matters. There's a misconception about self-love, keeping many stuck. Self-love isn't an achievement or a permanent state. It's not the absence of insecurity or doubt. Real self-love changes behaviors, not just mood. It's treating yourself with the same respect as those you love, recognizing limits, and saying no without needing to justify. It's believing you have value beyond what you produce, achieve, or what others think. Real self-love isn't compatible with compulsive busyness. A life built on producing to deserve is a life in debt to yourself, where rest is never deserved. When I finish this project, I'll rest. When I get that promotion, I'll take a vacation. When the kids grow up, I'll have time for myself. These phrases are from someone who puts their care at the end of a never-ending line. Rest isn't a reward for work, it's part of it. It's essential for memory, emotional processing, creative insight, and empathy. The best work often happens when you're not working. Enough diagnosis. Let's focus on action. Understanding the problem without tools is just another burden. Step 1. Audit your schedule honestly. Review your schedule for the next week. Ask, did I choose this with intention, or did it appear because I couldn't refuse? Awareness is the first step, and it's harder than it seems. Most of us believe everything on the schedule is urgent and irreplaceable. It rarely is. Step 2. Learn the difference between urgent and important. The Eisenhower matrix divides tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, urgent and not important, important and not urgent and not important. Most spend time in urgent categories, reacting and putting out fires. Important things, health, relationships, long-term projects, aren't urgent and get postponed until they become crises. Block time for the important before the urgent. Treat this time as non-negotiable. Step 3. Practice no as a muscle. Saying no is a skill. Start small. Say no to one low-risk thing this week. Observe what happens. Usually, the sky doesn't fall. Each time it doesn't, you gather evidence against the belief that saying no is dangerous. Step 4. Redefine your identity beyond productivity. Ask yourself, who am I when I'm not being useful? What do I enjoy? Not what I'm good at or recognized for, but what gives me pleasure without an audience? What truly rests me? Which relationships energize versus drain me? Who you are beyond functions and responsibilities deserves an answer. That answer appears when you stop running from it with busyness. Step 5. Prioritize rest in your schedule. Block time to do nothing productive, without guilt or a mental to-do list. Truly empty time lets your nervous system, creative brain, and sense of self breathe. This isn't a luxury, it's maintenance. Systems without maintenance crash. You can't care for the world from an empty place. Fill yours first, without guilt. You are not your schedule. You are the person behind it, who breathes, feels, needs silence, connection, meaning, and real rest. That person matters more than any deadline or deliverable. Culture will keep telling you to do more, be more, produce more. It rewards exhaustion and punishes pauses, confusing busyness with value, exhaustion with dedication, a full schedule with a fulfilling life. But you can choose to agree or not with this narrative, to keep running or to stop, breathe, and decide with intention where you want to go and at what cost. Being busy is easy. Anyone can fill a calendar. Being present, intentional, rested, and aligned with what matters takes courage. The courage to disappoint some, to say no without endless apologies, to choose the life you want instead of reacting to the one that appeared. The most productive life is one where you still feel alive. If you recognize yourself here, maybe it's time to stop surviving and start living with intention. The conversation continues here.